Hi everyone, thank you guys for joining me today. We have some natural light to look at 8 artifacts, and I'm going to go ahead and show some of the similarities between these, and I hope that you guys get a kick out of this video. Let me know in the comments if you do. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at a few crystal artifacts, and we're going to kind of put the portraits next to each other just a little bit so that you guys can see the silhouettes of the humans. And we'll go ahead and take a closer look at this one in the light here, and you can see how the eye could be represented here. And then even on the interior, if we look further in one more layer, we can see another eye and a nose and a mouth. So we're not just looking at the very edge of the stone, which has, several different silhouettes or portraits of human beings on them, but we're also looking at the interior sections too. And you can see these other images put in here as well. There's actually thousands of them on this one stone. And it's really an incredible type of art. I have to give a shout out to City Rock Hounding because he's got a pretty good eye for finding these. You might even see larger representations of humans here, with the eye being here, just looking down it. And it's a really incredible artifact, and we'll go ahead and look at a few more. There's so much to see on this one, but I want to keep you guys entertained. You have a attention span of about 0.3 seconds nowadays, right? So let's go ahead and get that perfect silhouette here. You guys don't, but most people do, right? And there's a lot of new viewers that get an opportunity to check out this art, and I want to be able to share it to them. Share it with them in a way that's palatable. And I understand, that's just the way things are, but it does affect the way that we make our videos. As you guys know, and I say we, and I mean me, but we have to do a lot of little jumping around sometimes to try to get people's attention for this, because otherwise you wouldn't maybe understand it or look at it. We can see the kind of a cartoony shaped character here placed in this one. And I think the natural lighting is really great for these types of artifacts, especially these split, where they accentuate the shiny stones. As an ancient person, you could imagine that this would be appealing. They don't have TVs or cell phones like we do, right? So, of course, this one behind us is a fantastic, almost looks like a gold taking out thing, like you could sift gold with it or something. But it has a lot of silhouettes on it. You can see even poking out on the right hand side there with the socket for the eye, the nose, and the mouth, kind of like a man perhaps. And then if we tilt it to the left here, you can see the silhouette coming out of the woman or the girl. And she has a portrait, of course, just on the very outside of the stone here, even looking at us a little bit. And then on the interior too, there's, just like we showed in the other one, it's not necessarily always the outside edge of the stone. Sometimes it's the interior as well. So thanks guys for sticking with me for this long. I know this is about the time where everybody kind of clocks out, and I'm going to take a drink of Sprite and tell you about the alligator head and the bird and the other statues here that we're about to take a look at. So here's a very common bird stone. These stones are found all over North Carolina, and they represent different types of birds, which is cool. You can see the silhouette, and I'll point it up at us so that we can see the paint a little bit. And then as we tilt it the way it's supposed to be seen, you can see how it may represent a quail or some other type of bird. And then we can see, as we tilt it here, you can see how the beak is done, how the round head, and there's that little separation for the beak. That's very important, that recessed beak. It kind of lets us know that this is real. Otherwise, maybe you'd be like, well, what? It's just a pointy rock. Well, you can see the round head with the swoop underneath, and how the beak is very, precise. It is indeed a bird, and the bird can fly. It's very cool. So it's a few different birds, you know. It's this weird quail or crested bird. And then it's that one as well. It's a lot of different things. Because you couldn't just afford to put one image on the stone, right? Here's a much easier to see bird. You guys can see the two wings poking out on the right and left hand side, and the beak is represented here. And go ahead and show you the carvings for the beak. And then if you look closely in the eye, this is the level of detail that we're looking at. You see there's a large circle with a little dot in the middle. And that, of course, is that bird's eye. It's very cool, and it does have a little tab here, and you can hold it and wiggle it. It's kind of balanced in that way so that you can make it fly away. Look at that, right? So these are the toys of ancient people or Stone Age people. It's not super hard for a lot of people to believe, but for some it is. And it's because we've been taught something different, you know. We haven't been really taught about alligator heads. And I'm going to move you guys around so we can get some different light. Let's go ahead and take a look over here at this alligator head. So with the shadows, it's really tough to see the art. Like if it's obscured by shadows. So I'm trying to kind of show you how the end is done here. Oh, I wish I could pick it up. It's super heavy, guys. Here we go. So you guys can see how the bill is done and the eye carving is there. And believe it or not, this is also another statue similar to the one that we looked at over here with the woman face or girl face as we tilt it away. And it has really giant hair, and that's why a lot of times I think it's a young woman. There's pictures of old men, old ladies, young people, children. This one is polished down to the silver vein. So it actually has silver and gold in that. It might be hard to see the gold, but in person, this is a very easy statue to see. And this is from Cherokee, North Carolina. And I am going to be returning this because I feel bad for taking it from the park there. You can see how the lips are done here, how the eye is done, and how the rest of this is hair. Oftentimes the hair turns into a bird. But what we have here on the edge is a little more high level. You can see how there's a crack in the stone right here. All right, we're going to go ahead and go high level with you guys so you guys can see. There's another silhouette of a human being here as well on the very top with that silver vein coming back. And if we expand on that even further, we can say that her eye is the beak of another bird. So you can see how the round head is done, how the beak is right here, and it's cut in. The bird comes all the way back. So this is a very common motif in North Carolina, where the bird becomes the woman's hair. And that's what we have here. But we have a woman with another person on their mind, or maybe, you know, another person. They're following someone else who had the bird on their head, is what that tells me. Not that I'm a expert stone reader or anything. I'm just kind of just sharing what first comes to my mind here. You know, this is art, so it is interpretive. And a lot of people can interpret different things, but when you look at this stuff in the sun, as it was looked at by the people who made it, you can see how these beautiful silhouettes are made. And indigenous art today still shows silhouettes upon silhouettes, you know, recreations of that art. Here's another stone that just has a large silver inclusion put onto it. I just thought it was neat how, you know, wanted to kind of demonstrate how they would mine down to that silver and create that layer there that you could see. All right, guys, I think that's great. Have a great one. Talk to you soon. Bye.